Hi there, my name is Cooper Alford, and this is my session 4 video for my technical analysis tool that I've built. It's a simple tool. It has 6 steps. First, it gets data. Second, it cleans it. Third, it calculates all indicators. Fourth, it gives me a signal based on those indicators. 5, it validates my findings. And 6, it documents them in a report. Starting off, I use Pandas, NumPy, and YFinance just to keep it simple. NumPy is a mathematical tool that does most of the functions for me in a separate box for any sort of math or anything like that. Pandas is a statistical tool for spreadsheets that keeps all my data nice and organized, and I like just pulling from YFinance to keep things straightforward and simple. And also datetime to keep things up to date for the last 2 years of where I'll be getting my data from. So first off, we have the first step, define get data. It says Netflix in 2 years, which is going to be the example that I'm going to be using, but I have it set so it's under the function for getting or running the analysis. There's a get user input that allows the user to put in any sticker they want, and I use that to play around with the tool and learn some different stocks and see what the moving averages, RSIs, MACDs, Bollinger Bands, any other technical indicators looked like for different stocks and how they changed, and make sure that it actually worked so I can look it up online and that see those prices were accurate and that the code was working correctly. So first off, we have the first step, define get data, download stock data, print. This is all just going to be in the display that we'll see later. It tries stock at yahoofinance.ticker, and the ticker will be from the user input. Then it goes to the data and gets the stock history, and the period is from this period. So it will be from the last 2 years is what I have it automatically set to. And then it'll print downloaded in trading days. And if there's an error, it'll say error getting data. Second, for clean data, I kept it very, very simple. No checking for stock splits. I could have easily added that. No checking for powers of 10. I could have easily added that. But I just decided to remove any weekends and holidays, so keep only trading days and remove any rows missing datas or zeros or anything like that. And it'll print clean data once it's done and return it to the end of the function. Then we have the main meat of the code, which is what we learned in class in calculating indicators. So it'll print calculating step 3, all technical indicators. First off, we have the moving averages. I selected a 50 and 200 day to look at longer trading swings for a 2-year stock data felt appropriate. And also I can use this to look at the golden and death cross to make sure that if I can find any potential gains or rises or losses, future rises or losses in price value. So we also have the simple moving average and the exponential moving average. The exponential moving average just puts more weight on recent days because it feels like that price information is more relevant, whereas simple just weights all of them in the moving average equally, and then just rolls on a 50-day versus 200-day. Next up, we have the RSI, the relative strength index. It calculates the delta or the difference between two different close prices. And if it's above 1, which is positive, that's a gain. Where if it's below 1, 0, it's a loss. And it'll return that as an RSI value based on the formula. Next up, we have the MACD, which is the convergence / divergence, moving average convergence / divergence. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. Oh my god, I can't believe I just figured it out. It measures whether or not the 50-day and 20-day or a longer or shorter moving average, usually exponential, are close to each other. That means they might see a potential rise or fall. Usually is that when it happens is one of them as the short crosses over the 200, like this, basically. Like when a 50 crosses over the 200 is when I'll be seeing the golden cross, whereas vice versa would be the death cross. Next up, we have the Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands deals with volatility, the risk of the stock. There's a 20-day period, and it deals with 2 standard deviations. If it's above 2 standard deviations, that's seen as an abnormal price jump, and it'll means it might be overbought or oversold. If it's past the upper band or below the lower band. So it calculates the middle, which is just the close price based on the rolling mean, and then the rolling standard deviation from that period, and then the upper is the lower plus the 2 standard deviations, and lower is minus 2 standard deviations. Then we have some simple volume analysis, just gets the volume ratio, volume of how many stocks they had in this 20-day rolling mean, and the volume ratio, and then we have some support / resistance, local highs and lows. And after that, it'll return that and say all indicators calculated. Next up, we have finding signals, which is going to tell me what I actually want to do based on my indicators. So we have, first off, our moving average signals updated 50 to 200 day. I changed it. It was originally 20 and 50, but I felt like I should have 50 and 200. See if the 50-day is above the 200, bullish, like a golden cross ratio, and I give it a 1. So that's a 1 to our score, which would be an indicator to buy. Otherwise, it's bearish if it's below, which is a -1, which is a signal not to. And here we have our RSI signals. So we have a percentage, like I said, if it was above a 70, it would be overbought. It'll be an RSI score of -1. If it's an oversold, that's a signal to buy. By the way, I think it gives a standing based on whether or not we want to buy the stock, not sell it. And neutral if the RSI is within 30 or 70. So if it's below 30, it's oversold, and if it's above 70, it's overbought. Next up, we have our MACD, our convergence and divergence. Oh gosh. If the latest MACD signal is greater than the latest MACD signal, then the signal is bullish. That means it's converging, where if it's bearish, they're diverging. Bullish means a signal to buy, by the way, or a signal of expected price rise in the future. Bearish is the opposite, signal sell or expected price drop. And then we have their Bollinger Band signals, which tells us if the close is more than the upper, it's overbought, and that's at scored a -1, so to sell. And if the close is less than the lower, then it's oversold, and that's a 1 to buy. And if it's neutral, it's 0, so it doesn't add anything. Then we have our volume ratio. If our volume is high, we should buy. If it's not, we should give it a 0. And then it adds those up to be out of 5. If it's over 2, it's a strong buy. If it's 1, just buy. 0 is a hold. -1 is a sell, and if it's anything less, it's a strong sell. And then we validate our findings right here. So manual RSI is latest in the is equal to the latest RSI in our calculation. If it's within that, if it's 100, it's valid, and it does that for every single indicator. Then it comes down here and it prints our big fat document, our report, and it gives us basically everything here. It's all the red is just print of what a code is, and then it calls back to the function, the ticker, the date, the latest closed volume, the latest high, low, our SMA, our moving averages, our RSIs, our MACDs, and our Bollinger Bands, and then our actual analysis on the score and the signal, and our validation. And our at step 7, I'm so sorry, is our trading recommendation on what to do. So we have a strong buy, from, I'm so sorry, our position from whether or not we should do from our step 6 of buy, sell, strong sell, or neutral. If signals overall strong buy, sell, target price equals what we want to sell it at, and then our loss if it gets too low, and our recommendation of what to do. Enter at this, our target, and our risk reward. And it does that for selling and holding too. If it's holding, it's just hold at the current price, don't buy or sell. And then it calls back, runs the full function, calls back each step. Step 1, get data, call the data function. Step 2, clean it, call the clean function, indicator, signal, validation, report. And then step 7 is recommendation. And then run the analysis is at the bottom because it Okay, here's part two. I went up to 10 minutes. I didn't realize, and that was the limit for how long I can record a video. So hopefully this works. I will figure it out and send you. I gotta get Google Teams. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about this. So let's run the code to make sure it works here. We'll do Netflix like we said, and then quit just to stop the function to make sure it ends. So like we said, here at the top and all that red, it'll run through the data to make sure and print that out. So step one, getting the data, cleaning it, getting our technical indicators, finding our signals, validating them, and documenting findings. And the step seven is way there at the bottom. So here's our full report. Ticker is Netflix. It was accessed right now. And that's just what we're doing. It says so in the code. Our current market data, our price is at $1,180, and there's 2 million stocks out. Our 28th day high is 1,300, and our 20-day low is 1,160. There's our technical indicators, our SMA 50. All these are all there. That's all taken from the code. Our RSI's 30, which is extremely low. Well, that's extremely low. That's oversold. Oversold. Our MACD is negative 13, and our Bollinger Bands shows that it is on the lower side, but hasn't crossed below the lower, so nothing really there. Our signal analysis, our moving average. I didn't even realize our 50-day is way above our 200-day in both cases, so that's a good sign that price is expected to rise. Our RSI says it's oversold. Yeah, that's for sure. It's on the yeah, this is that should be a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's a 1 out of 5. Yeah. 1 plus 1 minus 1 is 1 out of 5. Maybe I should make that well, I guess it could be 5 out of 5. Just thinking about changes I can make to the code. But that does work. I know that, and it is a solid buy, and it says so right now. It's probably expected to rise in the future. And everything's valid. And our recommendation, obviously, based on what I said, is a buy, and confidence is moderate. Like I said, enter it right now, and our target is to gain 8%. And if it drops more than 6%, then we exit out, and our risk reward is 1 to 1, 0.113. Almost missed that. And that is session 4.